what's up y'all? This your boy Charlie coming at y'all with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my delicious homemade white bread from scratch. Yeah. Now, there's a multitude of things that you can do with white bread. You can take it and make sandwiches, you can make French toast, bread pudding, turn into breadcrumbs to make a dressing. There's a multitude of things that you can do with a white bread. Just to give you some ideas. This recipe calls for about 15 individual servings of white bread, depending on how you slice it, because I sliced it pretty thin, so you should get about a good 15 individual servings out of that. Now, and lastly, it is absolutely delicious. I mean, look how soft that is. I mean, man, oh man. So, without further ado, let's get started. Here is all what you will need to make your homemade bread. Let's get started. You will need some bread flour. Now if you don't have the bread flour, you can use all-purpose flour as well. Bread machine rapid rise instant yeast. You can also use the regular active dry yeast if you like. Along with that, you will need some salt, sugar, and some olive oil. Now this is just a personal preference. I just like to use olive oil in my bread. You can also use any other type of oil, or you can use butter. To bake your homemade bread, you will need a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. In our stand mixer bowl, add 3 1/2 cups of bread flour or all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to give this a quick stir until combined. In our stand mixer bowl fitted with the dough hook attachment, add 1 1/2 cups of warm water. Temperature should be between 100 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And 1/4 cup of canola oil. Now remember, you can use any other type of oil, or you can use shortening or butter. Okay. Now we're going to mix this on a low speed, or according to your stand mixer's instructions on mixing dough, for about 3 minutes, or until that dough no longer sticks to your hand. Okay. And as you can see, that dough no longer sticks to my hand. That's exactly what we want, okay? Alright, now you're going to lightly flour the surface of your table. Add your dough on top of the table. Now we're going to knead the dough for about 15 to 20 times, and that's going to bring it all together, okay? Now we're going to form it into a ball. Let the dough rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's been about 15 to 20 minutes now. And now we're just going to press down and punch down on the dough to release those gases caused by the yeast. And now we're going to form the dough into a loaf, like a rectangle, a little small rectangle. As you see here, it's exactly what we want. Now in our loaf pan, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and we're just going to spread that olive oil around the loaf pan. Add your dough into the loaf pan. Now I like to take my hands and make the dough a little narrow in my loaf pan. Okay, you don't have to follow that step if you don't want to. Now we're going to cover this with a towel, and we're going to let this rise in a warm spot for about 1 hour. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees. It's been about 1 hour now, and this is how it looks when we're done. As you can see, the dough has doubled in size. Now it's ready to be baked. Now we're going to place this into a preheated 425 degree oven on the middle rack, because I have a dark coated pan, and I'm going to let this bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. Oh, look how nice golden brown that is. Alright, we're going to take our homemade white bread out of the oven after baking on 425 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. Alright, now if you tap the dough on the top or the bottom of the sides and it feels hollow on the inside, that lets you know that it is done, okay? Okay, here I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil with 1 tablespoon of salted butter. I'm just going to take a pastry brush, and I'm going to brush that olive oil and butter mixture on top of the bread. Once done, transfer the bread onto a cooling rack and let it cool for about 30 minutes to an hour before you cut it. Okay? To store this bread, You're going to place it into a plastic bag. I have a large plastic bag here. I always store my breads in a plastic bag. And this can stay out at room temperature for about a week or even close to 2 weeks. Okay. You can also freeze this bread as well. You can store it in your freezer for about 3 to 6 months. Okay. Now for the final presentation, I'm going to go ahead and cut you a few slices and show you how it looks on the inside. Oh, look at how good that looks. Soft, golden brown, and delicious. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Homemade white bread, made from scratch by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. You can also check out this recipe, along with all of my other recipes, at www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. I mean, man, look at how soft that is, y'all. Look at that. I mean, real soft. The bread is really good. I mean, it's really soft, and on the outside here on the crust, it has a nice crunchy outside, and it's also moist on the inside too. It's really good. I'm telling y'all, try the recipe and you're gonna really like it. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until next time, have a great one. Peace.